Hey everyone, Rho here. Today we're talking the Genestealer uprising on Terra, and how that could impact the future of the Tyranid race. Now, not sure if this needs a spoiler warning, but we'll throw one out there as usual. General spoiler warning to begin, as we will be discussing events from across the Warhammer 40k universe, so you have been warned. But with that said, let's just jump straight in. Okay, now as most people will be aware, Warhammer Days saw the reveal of the much rumoured Genestealer Cult vs Custodes box set. And as hoped, the setting is the throneworld, no less. Holy Terra itself, seat of the Emperor of Mankind. And as excited about the box set itself as I am, I'm even more excited about this from a lore perspective. Now, over on the Warhammer community website, it states that the Talons of the Emperor are taking on the risen Genestealer Cult and even attempting to capture the Patriarch alive for study purposes, which is definitely a cool and interesting twist. And it does begin to ask the question of why and for what purposes. However, it's the larger narrative and lore implications that really have me excited about the future here. Obviously, we won't know the exact details and insight of the event until the box set is eventually released next month. But what we do already know is that the stronger a Genestealer Cult gets, the stronger its psychic call goes out to the rest of the Tyranid race. And there has actually been a tease of a Genestealer Cult upon Terra before. Now, I don't know if this event is supposed to be that original cult, or if this is supposed to be a second sighting of Genestealers upon Terra. Either way, it certainly seems to have been growing amongst the shadows for quite a long time, and so you would expect the call going out to the Tyranids to be particularly strong. Now, why is this important when the Tyranids have been rumoured to be heading to Terra for the entire time? Well, to me, for a couple of reasons. Firstly, it actually makes the Tyranids a genuine threat to the throne world. For so long, the danger of the Tyranids has been kept far away to the galactic east. Yes, we've had other hive fleets emerge from different directions, but in truth, has Terra ever been remotely endangered by any of these? The answer is no. And you understand why, because of the promise of sheer empire-ending destruction the Tyranids represent, and the amount of territory they would have to encompass to get to Terra. Well, you'd have written off most of the Imperium in a stroke. But this event changes that perception. No longer does the Hive Fleets have to be covering a vast area of the galaxy, no longer branching out in all directions, or steering towards newly found plentiful systems. Here, with this uprising, this can be used as a narrative to drive the Tyranids, or at least a single Hive fleet, straight towards Terra itself, regardless of other systems nearby. The devastation of Baal has shown us a bit of a vindictive personality when it comes to the Hive mind, so why not continue that some with this storyline here? Secondly, I really feel this could be used as the next step of the larger narrative concerning the Tyranid race. We've spoken about the Tyranids on the channel a few months ago, about how I felt they really needed a new Hive fleet to arrive to revitalise them as a faction. How I personally just felt they'd lost a bit of their larger fear factor. So this uprising on the throne world could maybe be the perfect remedy for that. Because the promise now of the Tyranids focusing on Terra has certainly gone up a notch. We know chaos is ascendant, the galaxy is shattered, and the warp is quite literally everywhere. However, if we are to turn our attention to Sanguinius' prophecies of the end times so long ago, it wasn't just chaos that was running amok across the galaxy. It was the Tyranids who were standing alongside chaos. Together, the two of them were fighting for the carcass of the Imperium. It was the Great Devourer who had fought their way to Terra equally. Or at least that was the symbolism you could perceive. As always with prophecies, they're always open to interpretation. So here now, this cult on the throne world itself, while a simple enough scenario in its own right, could actually be used as a mechanic to take us one step closer to the figurative end times. And no, I don't think we'll ever get a 40k end times, nor should we. Like I said, we're just talking in the figurative story sense. This is one step closer for the Tyranids to once more assume center role alongside chaos. To once again be seen as the great threat they truly are. Now, the outcome of the Shadow Throne conflict will, I would expect, be the talons of the Emperor cleaning out the infestation. At least as far as they know. I'm sure there'll be some hint or tease that the Genestealers are still there, only once more back into hiding. I mean, the fact is that's really the only logical outcome I can see. Because the other alternative is a Genestealer victory, which would mean the outright overthrowing of the Imperium upon the throne world. And I just don't see that happening quite yet. Overall though, I do think this can still be enough to truly act in the narrative sense of drawing the Tyranid eye once more truly back to the throne world. That somehow the combined cult signal and lure of the Astronomicon is enough to break through this galaxy of chaos. No pun intended. That despite the Custodes' victory, we'll get some kind of tease of things to come. A subtle build towards the eventual Tyranid release later in this edition. And when that eventually comes, I am hoping, now with more renewed vigour than ever, that a new Hive fleet will be on course for Holy Terra itself, and that it will emerge no more on the galactic east, not far flung to the galactic north across the Great Rift, but somewhere much closer to the throne world itself. But as always guys, what do you think? What do you think this Genestealer uprising could mean for the future of not only the throne world, but for the Imperium itself? Will this be kept as a single scenario and nothing more? Or could we be looking at simply the first step towards a larger narrative and the Tyranids resuming their dominance as largest threat to the survival of the galaxy? As always guys, leave your thoughts in the comments below, I love to read them. Huge thank you to all my subscribers, your support truly means a lot to me, it really does. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.